with Congressman Tim Ryan, who just spoke to this convention. You put a lot of focus on economic issues. You are a congressman from Ohio, and you're challenging the party to take the offense on economic issues. Expound upon that.
Well, the president says the unemployment rate's low, the stock market's high, and boy, the economy's the envy of the world. The reality of it is 75% of Americans are still living paycheck to paycheck. 40 to 50% of Americans couldn't withstand a $400 emergency. That's white people, black people, brown people, gay people, straight people. So we've got to have a robust economic message to deal with the pain and the suffering and anxiety that people are going through. And oh, by the way, that will help us win the White House back.
How do we deal with that in terms of the inequality as a race factor, the race gap? Blacks, even in a pretty good economy, unemployment very low, but blacks are still doubly unemployed to whites.
So I'm creating an industrial policy in the United States where we actually have the government working with the private sector to dominate industries that are growing, like wind growing at 20%, solar's growing at 30%, electric vehicles growing, we're going to make about 30 million in the next 10 years, in the batteries and the charging stations. So my plan is, how do we dominate these industries and then steer the growth to communities of color, communities that are distressed, that have lost jobs, old coal, old steel, old auto, old textile communities, drive that new investment into the communities that have suffered for the last 40 years. That seems to me an appropriate job for government.
How do you respond to the president now delaying the ICE raids, I would call it, on illegal immigrants now for 2 weeks? He announced just in the last hour or so that he was going to suspend what he had announced that he was going to do, going after what he would say millions of illegal aliens. How do you respond to that?
Well, I look at the president on everything he does through the prism of him trying to win a 24-hour news cycle, or him trying to look like he's in charge. And so him looking like he's going to go after these poor people and then pull back, oh, he's the savior now. That's his modus operandi. I mean, that's just what he does. And so now, but he also wants to keep this as an issue. He thinks the immigration issue is a good issue for him going into the election. You saw at his rally last week, it was about safety, security, and then the economy was last. And for us, I think we punish him on that.
And he doesn't act like they're human beings. He acts like they're outer space aliens rather than immigrants that are deemed that way. That's why I use that term.
Yeah.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I heard you using your quarterback experiences with this audience.
Yeah. Well, we got to play
sports a lot.
We got to play offense. We've got to be proactive. We as a party, I think we're always playing defense. And what I told people here, Rev, is that if we change the center of gravity for this party from the coasts and the Ivy Leagues, which is the perception around the country, to blue-collar America, to Youngstown, Ohio, or Akron, Ohio, we shift the whole brand of the party. And then with the Tim Ryan as a nominee, then we can go into Kentucky and actually take down Mitch McConnell. We can come here to South Carolina and take out Lindsey Graham because the brand of the party has changed. And anybody that thinks that may be a good idea should go to TimRyanForAmerica.com and say, look, let's support Tim with what he's trying to do here, the economic message, and not just beating Trump, but winning the Senate back, too.
All right. Thank you, Congress.
Thanks, Rev. Appreciate it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.